There you go, Stu. Thank you. Had bets about you bringing food. Huh? We had bets about you bringing food. Huh? We placed bets. I don't I will. That you would bring food. That's what you every single day. During the park. Everybody ready? Almost. Everybody done, right? Yes, no? Yeah. All right, let's look at the. Here you go. Let's start with the first one. March, you can start.
Which instruments are, oops, sorry,
There you go.
which instruments are part of the pedostatic system? Altimeter, airspeed indicator, and vertical.
Good. Anybody got a question for that one? Sweet. Altimeter, airspeed indicator, and vertical speed indicator. This one is wrong right here. This one is wrong right here. And here we have these ones wrong. Next one up, Dan.
The G3X AC and you say ARs and you say AHRs.
Ahers. Yeah.
Fail. Will the G5's information be? Yes, because it has its own ADC.
Very good. That is beautiful. It has its own air data computer as well as AHR system. Stu?
What should you not do if you're lost?
Yeah, don't descend. Robert, right?
Yes.
Yeah, next, please.
What number are we on?
The blue highlighted over here.
What does it mean when you're, I'm trying to from flag
Here we go.
here? Oh, okay. What does it mean when you're? It means you are over the VOR and you're in the cone of confusion.
Beautiful. Who you have? Craig.
Which instruments will continue to function normally if the plane's pitot tube becomes blocked? Your altimeter and burdens.
Very good. airspeed is connected to the pitot tube. Sean,
Yes. A particular VOR station is undergoing routine maintenance. This is evident by. Because what I learned was they broadcast a test signal through the monitoring channel, right?
that is wrong. The correct answer is removal of the identification feature. And I see a lot of people have a question about that.
Yeah.
So we will go back to this then. Okay?
It just wouldn't play anything then at all.
Yeah, it goes off. Yeah. Sometimes if you can, there's a written question, I think it's not for private, it's for instrument and commercial later, where if you hear the Morse code every 30 seconds, but you cannot tune in, there's an exception for that. I will find you guys the question so you guys have the answer for that. Okay? So we will work on this one. All right, next one up. When the course, Daryl?
The first deviation indicator CDI, needle is centered using the BOR test signal, which you can see on the bearing selector. And the two arm indicator should read 0 degrees regardless of the bias position.
That is correct. It is 180 from, that's wrong. It has to be 182 and 360 are 0 degrees from. When we went to the plane, we did it on the on the G3X, and that's when you guys saw it, right? It had a 2 flag. A lot of people like to remember it 172 as in the plane.
I remember it from Blink 182.
There you
So
go.
if you think of Blink 182, which everybody knows, Blink 182, and then the reciprocal of that would be the front.
Perfect. Blink 180, and it should be 2. Very good. I only know with the Cessna 172, and it's the closest to 180. Blink 182 is even better. I love it. All right. So this one cannot be a from flag. There should be a 2 flag. And it's also has nothing to do with the pilot is due north of the VOT. That's not correct. What symbol would indicate a vortex location on an airport? A runway configuration with a dot.
Oh, that's what they were at.
So
I thought it was a hex.
Yeah, you see the little dot in there.
They were talking about on the map. It would have been a dot right
Oh,
this dot right here signals to us or symbolizes to us that there is a VOT station, vortex station on the field. Okay. And then if you actually zoom out, you can see how the magnetic north line comes out of it right here.
yeah.
And you can also see here vortex, seal beach, and the channel as well as the frequency. No, this one. So the runway configuration with a dot. What type of VR is depicted in the picture? I don't know why these pictures are huge, but Marsh.
That's a vortex.
Beautiful.
I got it wrong. I remember it now.
It's a vortex. Yep. Does vortex give you distance measuring?
Yes.
Yes. Don't question yourself on that one. Which one doesn't give you distance measuring?
VR.
Which other one gives you distance measuring?
VR DME.
That's correct. All right.
Why wouldn't it be
Stu?
vortex DME? Oh, because that's just the picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
And vortex are also for military use.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
So we can't even program to do them?
You can program, you still get DME, but there's another channel that the military uses to do approaches, for example, or something else.
So would we get in trouble if we were in an emergency and we wanted to use the vortex?
I mean, we use it all the time.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, we use Seal Beach all the time.
okay.
Yeah. You can use VR stations at any given time. There's no restrictions on that. It's a channel that you put in and then you can identify something else. All right, Stu,
What is pressure altitude, the altitude and pressure scale is set to 292.
did we do this?
I don't know.
We kind of talked about it, but yeah,
I got all work on, so.
yeah, I didn't use.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this then.
That was just.
Beautiful. We will talk about pressure, altitude, density, altitude, okay? All right, sweet. Which instrument will become inoperative if the static vents become clogged? All of them, right? Because they're all connected to the pedostatic system, or the static, I should say, in this particular example. If a flight is made from an area of low pressure into an area of high pressure without the altimeter setting being adjusted, the altimeter will indicate. Yeah. Sweet. Which is not a problem really, right? If you go from low to high, that's not really a problem. I mean, it's still a problem because of separation, traffic separation, but not with a, yeah, you will not hit something. It will be,
It's a problem if you're trying to fly under the LAX Bravo shell.
yeah. For example. But you must have twisted it by a lot to be off by, because one point is only 10 feet. You must have twisted it crazy.
One is only 10 feet. Yeah, so like later.
Yeah, I mean, before the decimal. All right, Craig, you next, please. Here we go.
The air computer or speed combines both data from the pedostatic sensors and temperature sensors.
That is correct. We talked about this, right?
Yes.
How the ADC is connected to different sensors, and through those sensors, it gets the information that we need. All right. What are the other options? Gathers pressure information from spinning gyros? No. Receives input from the airspeed and altitude indicators? No. Senses the plane's speed. Senses? No, it doesn't sense anything. I mean, it's sensors that work with it. All right, Daryl. Correct. You remember when I drew that one plane that was exactly over the VR station? The distance is 0, but it's actually showing 1 mile, for example, if you're at 5,000 feet. Good. Yes, Stu? Oh, no, Robert.
I missed this one, but apparently maybe you can elaborate. Anytime it's related to navigation, it's nautical.
Yeah.
And every other, and that's, and everything else is statute miles. So I selected statute miles.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that a DME is related to navigation, so.
Yeah. Stu, you want to say something about that?
About the team.
No, about nautical versus statute miles.
Oh, nautical miles are the distance across, I mean, it's like sea nautical miles. So I mean, we use them in the plane too, but then statute miles are usually, are those the ones that are latitude and longitude?
No,
Oh, is it all?
no, that's not. But in a nutshell, nautical miles is anything with travel. Statute miles is anything with visibility. Yeah. Magnetic north and anything else that is reported in true should be related to wind. Okay, that's a different thing. What angular deviation from a VR course centerline is represented by a full-scale deflection of the CDI? 10 degrees. Maybe this is a little bit confusing because the CDI that you guys see has only 2 bubbles, right? So 2 bubbles now are the equivalent to 5 and 5. That makes it 10. These ones, they have 5 bubbles, and then 5 bubbles times 2, that's 10. Okay. Ours only shows 2 bubbles. All right, let's talk about pressure altitude, I guess. My favorite topic. I have a document here somewhere. Maybe this one? Oh. Score.
What was the average score on the quiz?
I didn't really look. Are you interested to know?
No, it's okay.
I mean, I can, but
It's okay.
yeah. See, instrument pilot. No, this is IFR pilot scope.
Is that a private pilot no stage guide on Farflame?
This one? Wait, sorry, which one? The one that I clicked? To be honest, I don't quite know.
Yeah, can you?
Oh, it's a preparation, yeah?
Yeah.
Somebody's. Yeah, feel free to email it to yourself if you can.
Yes, please.
I mean, how can I share this? Maybe I put it. I don't want to put it in the Discord.
Why don't you just put it in Zoom?
I can't put it in Zoom.
You can.
But I don't know exactly whose that is. I haven't checked it, so use it with
Option.
caution. Zoom. Here we go. If you guys want it, I put it on Zoom.
Floating around.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Oh, you already have it? All right, ask Sue if you want it.
Okay, put it in Discord, please.
No, not Discord.
Oh, not Discord.
Put it somewhere else. Like send it to you through
Yeah,
text message.
Okay.
Very good. I had a document. Now I gotta find this document that I promised. Maybe this one. Nah. Nope. Score report instruments, screenshot, I instructed. No, I can't find it. I just saw it yesterday, which is so weird. All right, let's go to the p-hack and we're gonna get actually some information about it. p-hack. All right. Let me ask you this. What is MSL?
Measure from sea level. In sea level. Sea level.
Mean zero. What is absolute?
Measure from radar.
Good. What is pressure altitude? If you would have to define it. Anybody know?
That's the benchmark for measuring altitude. When the world is in perfect condition.
Yeah.
992 is the benchmark for the perfect condition.
Yeah.
It's your height above sea level at standard pressure.
Yeah, it's pressure altitude is the altitude display when you are tuning in to 29092. As simple as that. Okay. You can tune into 29092 right now. It doesn't mean you will get the exact same elevation as it actually is right now, but you will get the standard. You will get the elevation that will be displayed if you input 29092, the standard. The bar. That's the bar. So what's density altitude?
Regarding to your moisture temperature. Since moisture and temperature does affect your pressure. So
Pressure altitude corrected for non-standard temperature.
Perfect, thanks. So pressure altitude is the altitude that is displayed when you put in 29092 into your Bozeman window, right? Density altitude is pressure altitude corrected for non-standard temperature. Okay. So, which means now, if you put in a different altimeter setting, you have corrected your pressure altitude for non-standard temperature. For example, it's 30 degrees Celsius right now in summertime. You have corrected for that non-standard temperature as well. Okay. So these are the differences. It's crucial to understand what the difference is between pressure altitude, which is just the altitude you will be displayed on your altimeter when you tune into 29092, which is the standard, right? But density altitude is the altitude that you will get if you are considering non-standard temperature. Pressure altitude with non-standard temperature. So it kind of like builds on top of that. Okay. Since we're already doing that, what is indicated airspeed? Good. Yeah. What is calibrated airspeed?
Airspeed just adjusted for error.
What error?
No idea.
Pitot, so your pitot tube might be slanted to a certain way.
Oh, that error.
All right. So you said the pitot tube? Its proper terminology is considering installation errors. Okay. You indicate the calibrated airspeed is considering installation errors of the instrument that you are actually putting into the plane. So the reason why I'm starting with indicated is because there's nothing else but indicated. Okay? But calibrated is correcting indicated airspeed for instrument errors. You can see how it's building on top of that, right?
Instrument or installation?
Installation errors. Right?
Installation.
Yeah, which is also directly the instruments that you're going to install.
So we blame maintenance?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, angle of attack, you can blame maintenance, right? If it's screaming too early, you can blame maintenance because it has to be calibrated. So it is indicated, calibrated. What is true airspeed?
Actual height above the ground.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, airspeed. True airspeed is what is actually flying through the air.
All right. I get that. Okay. But how?
That's true altitude, right?
No. We're talking about true
Oh,
airspeed.
absolutely. True airspeed is what it's actually going through the air.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's considering what?
Considering winds of that meter going.
That's
No, because that's calculated in it.
no, that's the one answer they don't want to hear. True airspeed is considering non-standard temperature and pressure systems. That's why a lot of times you will get a question, why is your true airspeed higher if you're flying at a higher altitude? It's just because the pressure is different. Okay? And then they're going to build on top of that now, and they're going to ask you what is ground speed. So now ground speed is true airspeed considered, and true airspeed is considering non-standard temperature, right? And ground speed is now considering what? Ground speed is considering true airspeed, but corrected for wind. That's where wind comes into play. True airspeed doesn't play into effect wind. That's why when you fly the sling and you fly 100 knots true airspeed, but your ground speed is showing 60, the true is still showing 100. It's not putting into consideration any wind. Okay? So that's how you build the bridge in regard, like learn it that way too, yeah? So maybe it's making it easier because there's indicated, then there's calibrated, which is putting into consideration the indicated with instrument and installation errors. Then there's true, which is putting into consideration the calibrated with non-standard temperature. Now you have ground speed, which is putting into consideration true airspeed with wind.
So it all just builds off previous.
Yeah. Like this is how I would learn it. It's almost like a hierarchy, right? You go up and up and up.
It's very similar, like true north, wind correction angle, or true course, wind correction angle.
Yes, to a certain
magnetic,
extent, yes.
You know,
Yes.
deviation.
Yes, to a certain extent.
I didn't know
So
that.
what about absolute then? absolute, what did we say? You said absolute?
Altitude. I
absolute,
was thinking
yeah.
Absolute altitude.
Yeah, that's above the ground, right? AG, that is AGL. What is true? Did we say that? Did we talk about true altitude? Yeah, above the sea, exactly. Yeah. We measured, we talked about the other ones, right? Good. All right, let's look at this, since almost everybody had it wrong. Pressure altitude. Pressure altitude is the height above a standard datum plane, SDP, right? Which is a theoretical level where the weight of the atmosphere is 29902. And that's why we tuned in to 29902. As measured by a barometer. An altimeter is essentially a sensitive barometer calibrated to indicate altitude in the standard atmosphere. If the altimeter is set to 29902, the altitude indicated is pressure altitude. Like this one, you should maybe write down somewhere, copy and paste, and just memorize. This is the word, the phrasing you want to know if it comes down to you being questioned. If the altimeter is set to 29902, the altitude indicated at that point is the pressure altitude.
Can you zoom in a bit?
Yes,
That's good.
it's good.
Yeah.
If the altimeter is set for 29902, the altitude indicated is the pressure altitude. As atmospheric pressure changes, the SDP may be below or at or above sea level, right? Like we know, you can come here today and it's 29902, but you can come here tomorrow and it's all of a sudden 30.25, right? 3025. Pressure altitude is important as a basis for determining airplane performance, as well as for assigning flight levels to airplanes operating at or above 18,000 feet. Yeah, I mean, it's the standard. Other than that, you can't really use it, right? Like, it's just, if you come here today and it's telling you it's 3025, you know you're above standard. If you come tomorrow and it's 2985, you know you're below standard, which means it's low pressure or a high pressure system, right? It's directly reflecting. All right, let's continue on. The pressure altitude can be determined by one of the following methods: setting the barometric scale of the altimeter to 29902 and reading the indicated altitude, or applying a correction factor to the indicated altitude according to the reported altimeter setting. All right, let's do the first one, right? Set it to 29902, you will know exactly what your pressure altitude is. Now we're going to talk about density altitude. Density altitude, we have here the standard datum plane. Oh, sorry, let me zoom in a little bit. Better? Yeah. Standard datum plane is a theoretical pressure altitude, but aircraft operate in a non-standard atmosphere, just like today, right? It's not standard today. And the term density altitude is used for correlating aerodynamic performance in non-standard atmosphere. So aerodynamic performance in non-standard atmosphere. The plane was tested in standard atmospheres, right? You can bet your ass, right? But they probably didn't test it in the Mojave Desert because the climb gradient is going to be a totally different one. And is that going to reflect on anything good on the POH? Probably not. So density altitude.
And the Mojave Desert's gonna tend to have a below 29902 because it's really hot out there, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it depends on the pressure systems, but mainly because of the heat I was talking, the density altitude is going to be much higher. Okay. So density altitude is the vertical distance above sea level in the standard atmosphere at which a given density is to be found. The density of air has significant effects on the aircraft's performance because as air becomes less dense, it reduces power because the engine takes in less air. These are three ones you really need to know. Thrust, because the propeller is less efficient in thin air. And last but not least, lift, because the thin air exerts less force on the airfoils. Three things you definitely need to do. I think we talked about this one. I'm pretty sure I mentioned the effects of density altitude on an aircraft. So, one more time, even though the density altitude number is higher, it means that it is less dense, which means the particles are spread further apart. The particles spread further apart means less performance. Less performance can be directly is a direct result of these three. Okay? Less performance results in these three bullet points right here. Okay? Even though the density altitude number is higher, the density is less. The density being less, meaning the performance is less. Okay? Oh, excuse me.
What was the last one? Sorry.
Over the propeller. Lift.
Lift.
The lift factor. Yeah. I'm really trying to find. I swear I saw it yesterday. It's driving me crazy right now. This is not it. This goes here. Somebody's random score report. Service bulletins. Oh. Oh, maybe no. Somebody's IACRA. Somebody's test scores are all here. Who's this? Taylor Brodsky. Almost as good as me.
You got 100?
I beg you my pardon.
They give you like a hat or something?
A what? No, they didn't give me nothing.
Um,
I still had to pay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pay to get on.
They didn't even call me and say good job. 97?
Hope so.
Come on, where's this thing? I really. There's a little. Oh, there we go. Look at this, guys. Maybe I can share this one with you guys.
no, it's the same thing that's been floating around for.
Oh, yeah?
years. Yeah. Go to the front page. It's the same thing.
Oh, it's the same one, yeah?
Yeah.
So there's actually a part here where you can read about different types of airspeeds and altitudes. Indicated airspeeds means indicated. Calibrated is indicated corrected for instrument, position, and installation errors. It is equal to true airspeed in the standard atmosphere at sea level. Okay, what is true? Calibrated airspeed corrected for non-standard temperature now. You see that? And then what is ground speed? True airspeed corrected for wind. So they kind of like all build on top of each other. Indicated. Okay, obviously indicated is the altitude as read of the altimeter with appropriate setting. Pressure altitude, the vertical distance above the standard plane, standard datum plane, a theoretical plane where sea level pressure exists. It can be found by setting 2992 in Colesman window and reading the altitude. What is density altitude? It's pressure altitude corrected for non-standard temperature. What is true altitude? Above MSL. What is absolute? It's above AGL. And then guys, look at this. So you know how to calculate it in case they're going to have you calculate. They probably will. And you will have to also be able to do this for your cross countries, which is coming up next week. I think the topics for that. So if you look pressure altitude, is 2992 minus current altimeter setting times 1,000, and you add it plus the altitude of the field elevation. Okay. Field elevation. I can bring you guys some calculations. We can do a couple. Let me bring my notes. I remember I have some.
You're 8 by me.
That's it.
Oh, that's what comes.
All right. Let me see where my notes are. Current altimeter minus standard altimeter times 1,000. Is that what we have here? Yep. So the pressure altitude is the field elevation. So let's do maybe an example, right? Let's go to the current situation that we have here at Mars. Oops. AWC. Here, products, meter. There's your altimeter setting, right? So the current altimeter is 3001. I'm gonna put this on the side so everybody sees. Oops, sorry.
So it's 90 feet higher, going 90 feet higher today.
It could be that. So here we go. All right, we have, let's write the formula first, right? Pressure, altitude. What is the definition of this? No, the definition of pressure altitude.
This is standard temperature pressure.
It's the altitude displayed when altimeter is set to what? 2992, which is standard date plane, right? So that's the definition. The definition is exactly this one that I gave you guys. Here, if the altimeter is set to 29902, the altitude indicated is the pressure altitude. That is directly from the PHAC. So that is the first thing, right? PHAC chapter, I don't know, 4. So now let's talk about the formula. If the formula is what now? Pressure altitude formula. Anybody remember?
29902 minus current altimeter times 1,000.
Good. It is current altimeter minus standard altimeter,
I thought it was the other way around.
current minus, times 1,000 plus field elevation. Okay. So let's say we have the current, which is 30101 minus what?
299.
Solve for that and multiply by 1,000. How much is that? That's,
990.
this is 90 here, right? And 90 times 103 equals what?
The one we just wrote down had it as 299.2 minus altimeter setting.
Which one did you write down? Sorry.
I don't know where it was.
IBM said that.
No, I saw it on the board, not sure where it was.
Is it on that sheet that we don't know where it came from?
Oh.
That you got in.
Yeah, it is on the sheet.
It is on the sheet now.
Yeah.
Be careful with the sheet.
It might be shit. The sheet might be shit.
That's why I don't trust anybody's sheet unless I create it myself.
You don't wanna step in shit.
But they're correct though. Look at that. Pressure altitude equals 29992 minus altimeter setting times 1,000 plus elevation. So I stay corrected and I love it. Here you go. Standard. Whoa.
Just there minus the.
Correct. So standard minus current. So this is standard 29992 minus 3001, right? That becomes minus 90 now. Minus 90, and that becomes 13. All right, so now you have pressure altitude, right? Which is the pressure altitude, the altitude displayed when the altimeter is set to 29992. So if you would place it right now to 29992 outside, you should get a elevation of 13 feet, okay?
That's pretty good.
I mean, you can test it out if you really want to, right? Do the math before you go to the plane, place it at 29992 and see if it's actually corresponding to that. Now, the question is, how do I calculate my density altitude, correct? Why am I having this wrong in my note? Somebody got an eraser?
Pencil?
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Thanks.
I have a bigger one.
Oh, that's good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So now we're going to look at the density altitude and how to calculate that. Two. All right. Where's our little cheat sheet? Density altitude equals pressure altitude plus, let me put this to the side and then we can write it here. And we can do the math on that. So we have density altitude equals pressure altitude plus 120 plus times, sorry, outside air temperature in degrees Celsius. Minus 10. Minus standard temperature altitude. Oops, sorry about that. So you put in your 120 times the outside temperature times the minus the standard temperature, right? And then you should get your density altitude. We like to use, I'm gonna give it away, even though this is for next week, usually what we are doing right now, but we like to use something that's called the Koch chart. And what we do is pretty much put the information that we have at this given time. Sometimes it even allows you to put KTOA and it does all of the calculations for you. See that? So there you go. And now right now you would have to add 1% to your takeoff distance, 1% of decrease in rate of climb. And that's pretty much it, yeah. Okay, we're gonna talk about this next week. But this is how you're gonna incorporate your cross-country planning with this chart as well. Any questions?
The density.
Here, this one, this side or this side?
The left side.
Okay. So pressure altitude is altitude, the current field elevation, plus 299 at 2 minus current altimeter setting, and you multiply that by 1,000. And density is pressure altitude plus 120 plus outside air temperature, times outside air temperature minus standard temperature for that altitude. You got it. So solve for this one first, obviously, right? You solve for this one first, you get a number, multiply that by 120, and then add to the pressure altitude. Because even if we look at the METAR, let's use the METAR. Maybe it gives us density altitude. Sometimes we can get the information from.
You want the KTOA meter?
Yes, please. Wait, is it 29? Oh no. Here we go. It doesn't even give it to us, but yeah, you can do the calculations for that. All right, that is the first part. There is the quiz. Let's take a 5-minute break. I'm gonna look at this one. Maybe I can tell you guys what else to expect. And we're gonna see what we have to do for next week, the preparation for that. And then let's see more. Just copy it. All right, 5 to 10 minute break. Let's do 12:15. We'll be back at 12:15. Yeah, I think this document is also not like ready for us, I think, because these numbers also don't make sense, right? The
I
VS,
think it's old.
it's an old one. VY
Yeah, it's probably for
76.
Cessna. It's from a school in Texas. When I researched it, I think they don't use slaves.
Okay, sweet. At least you
But
guys
it's
have,
good for us to like write out, hey, what is our V speed if you haven't memorized?
yeah. I mean, a lot of the information on it is really good, but
Yeah,
um,
I'm glad I came today because I've learned a lot today.
oh, good,
I can't believe I've been here so long and I didn't know this shit.
fair enough,
But you got it through today.
fair enough.
I only got an 82 on my written. I
Yeah,
missed stupid questions like VX, VY. I didn't.
yeah, those writtens are just tedious, to be honest.
Yeah,
But they kind of like show work ethic, to be honest.
yeah.
Especially after the private. The private is kind of like, okay, you just gotta get it done. After the private, it's all shepherd there. It's one-to-one, the questions.
Okay.
Like you can anticipate them. All right, let's wait for them to come. I can't wait for Ramadan to be over to get all the snacks from Sean. He always has snacks. I'm gonna tell him right now. It's the one thing I'm looking forward to on Monday.
I sure do.
Yeah. He got all the snacks.
Yeah.
He got like bags of food.
He just comes in with like a full
Meals.
platter.
Yeah. Like dumplings, soup.
Are you done on this weekend?
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday?
What do you mean done?
Ramadan
Oh,
fasting. Yeah. Not it's 1,500 hours. I wish. There he is. I told you. I just talked about you, Sean.
what?
I said I can't wait for Monday to be over to get all your snacks when my fasting is over. I can finally eat from your snacks.
Better bring extra on Monday, dude.
I mean, I have like a little stash over there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Wait, you haven't eaten for 1,500, how many hours?
1 month?
You haven't eaten for a month?
Oh, but only sunrise to sunset.
Oh, a 1 day, okay,
Yeah.
so a 12-hour fast every
Uh,
day.
it's like 6 a.m. till 7 p.m. Yeah, like 13.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, it's really easy. It's very.
It's actually pretty great. They just like. I haven't before one.
You feel more mental clarity?
I actually have a lot of energy. Yeah, I have a lot of energy.
Oh, I have fasting again.
Are you done with it now?
On Sunday.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, during my fast, I actually feel very energetic.
Remember classes are like no.
It's just that I kept on tempting
it
him with like.
No, nothing.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. no.
What country are you from?
Tunisia?
Oh, is that down there by Italy?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What made you move here?
I don't know either.
How long have you been here for?
10 years. I came for undergrad. I came for school and then I never left. Thankfully, I mean, I finished this program, so.
Where did you go to school?
UC Berkeley?
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. That's from the Bay Area where I'm from.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
I just got back.
you must be very smart. It's hard to get into UC Berkeley.
Yeah.
What is that, college?
It's one of the best.
Dude, I'm not from here.
It's the
What?
best.
No.
State.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's like all it's Ivy League.
That's cool. I mean,
Bro, I live in
Yeah.
Collingfield.
yeah, it's kind of like a good public school.
Oh, yeah.
What did you major in?
Economics and science.
What made you not go into that then and come to flying?
I always wanted to fly, but
You gotta carry with it.
I actually worked in a little bit of consulting and then saved my money and then I came to Sim. Sure, yeah.
What consulting firm did you work for?
I wanted to go consulting first, but then I ended up doing franchise consulting.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I did like
So
restaurant
is that like sales basically?
No, it's
Okay.
more like
I get called by franchise consultants.
Oh,
all the
yeah?
time. Yeah.
interesting,
I almost opened one, but I decided I didn't have what I wanted.
like a restaurant.
I didn't want to do food, I wanted to do something else, but I couldn't find like the leverage, and when I looked at the numbers, like the exit fees, and it just wasn't worth it.
Interesting.
I was gonna do a tax prep franchise, actually, that one was the one I wanted to do, because there was only 4 months out of the year. And I'm a real estate broker, so I could have leveraged some of the contacts there, but I just decided it wasn't worth
Yeah.
it.
Fixed already.
My bad.
Well, I'm older than you, I just, so.
Oh, wild.
I'm old though. I'm old.
Yeah, 21.
I'm 42.
Yeah, I was like, I graduated high school, pouring concrete, and was like, I don't wanna do anything more, but I just went to play.
But you have something really valuable, which is time. So if you play your cards right, by the time you're 42, you're gonna have even more shit going on than me.
Yeah, there was a good, like, I'm not doing anything. Like, whereas like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing anything, I'll go in the fucking ring.
Yeah, that's a good call. Actually, you have time. Yeah, you have time. Can't take that.
So you know a lot about franchises.
A little bit, yeah. I specified on one at the end.
Oh, did you try and start one?
I wanted to. That's how I got into it. But
Oh,
they wanted me to sign a contract for like 5 of them.
yeah. Was it food?
It's food, yeah. It's
Okay.
called Dave's Hot Chicken. I don't know if you've ever.
I have heard of that.
Oh, what's that?
Dave's Hot Chicken.
They're
Oh,
blowing
yeah,
up.
those.
They're huge.
I went to a wedding once where they served that. And
Oh,
it's super ghetto. It was up in Sacramento. It was up in Santa Cruz. The Santa Cruz Mountain. They had Dave's Hot Chicken. Wow. Yeah. It was actually a great wedding venue.
Was it a medium wedding?
No, I think they were. Jewish. It smelled like nothing on the wedding. I was like, wow. But it was cool. It was like in a forest with like trees, and there was like hardly any bathrooms. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's go to a wedding. I'm like, dude, I spent more on my suit than like you did on your freaking wedding.
That's funny.
Like there was no hot water in the bathrooms. It was like a public park, but it was actually pretty romantic.
Trees, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was my girlfriend at the time. It wasn't my
Yeah. So I ended up working for them. I probably opened like 50 restaurants.
Oh, cool. Do you like their food?
I actually do like their food.
Okay.
Surprisingly. Yeah.
They're the one they have like a YouTube commercial with like people going,
Oh, I don't.
have you seen it?
I just don't.
I think, yeah,
Dude, they got some weird commercials.
yeah, they do. Cause our phones are listening to us, so you're probably next week
We're
on
gonna get Dave's Hot
YouTube.
Chicken.
You're gonna get a Dave's Hot Chicken commercial on your phone.
Yeah. So.
Let me know if you do. I guarantee you will, like this weekend.
It's probably gonna be an outrageous.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
If
what
they
I
are
work for.
pretty strong.
I mean, I did that. I started off as a trainee, so I just taught people how to.
It's kind of hard to squeeze a good profit when it's franchised and like they take a lot of the first fruits,
Yeah.
you know, and I've never worked in food, so I definitely didn't want that.
Yeah. No, they
Five Crying Tacos, you guys would do well. They're good at franchise.
Oh, chronic tacos.
I think my buddy owns the Redondo.
That's cool. That's cool stuff. All right,
The chicks went into nursing.
let's look at this. Actually, maybe this can work as a good review for you guys. You guys, everybody has this, right?
There's nothing there, let's exclude. Yeah.
Well, privilege limited.
Either build houses or a little bit old.
Did you actually do your solo fish check then?
It's tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, I thought it was last week.
It-
You got
I
pushed or
pushed it.
something?
I didn't realize that it was everything. I thought, for some reason, I thought it was split up, like it was a flight portion and everything else.
Yeah.
But once I realized it was everything, I need to study some more, so it's tomorrow afternoon.
Okay,
So hopefully.
sweet. Tomorrow is Saturday, no?
Is that the solo fish check? Is that what it's called? Or is it-
No, it's like the solo fish trip here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Solo fish check.
How are you soloing? We haven't even gone through the 8 weeks of the class.
We've done written. already.
Oh, you have? Wow, good for you.
Yeah, but technically, if you follow the program, you should be soloing in the 5th or 6th week. Which is right now. Just saying. Like, if you follow the 141 syllabus, you should be soloing in the 5th week.
That wasn't me.
Yeah,
We didn't really do it because we have that almost nearly 2 weeks out.
yeah, because if I go to week 4, I don't know exactly what it is. Weather theory.
Do you get it to work though?
Yeah, I played that game a little bit last day, but. See if it helped.
Yeah, I think it's like, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Easier than, when you're old though. At least with ABC, it's a person that you can be like, hey, I'm a student pilot and I'm half retarded. Can you explain that? And they're like, yeah, and they got you, like, you may sound stupid, but you won't fail.
Yeah, no,
Versus,
that's
like,
true.
If you're in, you're under control, it's like, if you don't know what's going on, you're fucked, so.
Yeah, but there's nobody in on control.
Yeah, I wouldn't try your solo on it.
No,
I don't know if there's a guideline. I did my solos to Cal.
I went to Compton last week on Tuesday or something. It was-
Yeah, so
It's
Compton, you're not even allowed to
You gotta
go.
watch out for
But
the.
it's the-
You're not supposed to do solo.
Dude ripping up and down.
Is that a new sling guideline? That's smart.
No more solos in Compton, yeah.
That was like from back in November, right? Because like, we get up, we didn't try to solo over there and then. This heavy boy.
But it's also too busy.
Yeah, you look at the airport on the GPS, it's like a bunch of flies, like flying down the pile. Hold on. Plane suddenly a Compton. Same with Long Beach.
All right, so next week, let's see what we're gonna do next week. Next week is gonna be nav logs and cross country. So
Yay.
if this starts, that means you're supposed to have solo. Not like in regards of the program. Obviously, we had like 2 weeks of not pretty bad weather.
I have a question about the cross country stuff. So as part of this phase check, I was told to plan a cross country to Palm Springs.
Interesting.
So
The first one, the solo. I didn't even know that.
okay,
But
that's great.
I thought, are you sure they didn't get you confused with the cross country fishing?
That's not true.
Yeah, you might want to ask. Is that in the 4-flight? We can also look at the 4-flight. The 4-flight guide has a guide to how to prepare for the solo fishing. I don't remember reading cross country planning for that, but let's see. So sling documents, then you can go to documents of for
Let me see, there's like a multiple.
flight training, and then face check 61, PPL face check, and then solo flight. So the solo flight is gonna come with 1 hour for the ground. So safety procedures and practices, they're gonna ask you about how much fuel in each tank and all these things. Pilot qualifications, documents required to exercise student pilot privileges, logbook endorsements, federal aviation regulations. And then airworthiness requirements, location and exploration of and dates of required aircraft checks, required inspection and airplane logbook documents, and so forth and so on. I'm trying to see weather, sources of weather, METARs versus TAF, airmet segments, convective segments, wind shear and recovery procedures. National airspace system, airspace classes, associated requirements and limitations, charts and symbology, and notice to airmen, minimum safety altitudes, wake turbulence, taxi diagrams, runway incursion, aerodynamics, velocity, spin recovery, weight and balance, aircraft. Slips, power plant, fuel, oil, electrical system. There's nothing with cross country.
It's the very first page, not, it has document checklist, and one of them says nav log / flight plan. Completed paper required for PPL,
Oh, wow.
something, so.
I don't think that's for solo. So the person actually reached out to you and told you to make one?
Well, I reached out to him, because I hadn't heard anything, and then, yes, he told me to.
Who's that, Han?
No, it's, Daniel, Dan,
Dan Rains?
yes.
I'll text him right now for you.
You're flying with Dan Rains?
Why?
Yes?
Yes.
How are you guys? You guys are gonna be way over the weight limit.
Oh, I know, I did this weight balance right now, I can carry 5 gallons of fuel with me.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Has a solo face check tomorrow with you.
Yeah, I was doing.
How much do you weigh?
Like 220.
He's probably 220 as well.
That's what he gave me, was 220.
I'm 220.
Yeah,
Maybe a response within the next 10 minutes, then I can tell you.
yeah, we have 13 pounds before.
So you get 2 gallons.
To go nowhere, but that is.
Wait, 2 pounds to 13 pounds to spare.
Yeah,
So
so
from
13.
1320 or from
Yeah.
15?
1320,
Oh, well,
so. We can't take off. If we need.
yeah, you can, whatever.
Exactly.
They let us.
All right. Yeah, I texted him. If he answers, I'll let you know. If not, just reach out to him again, maybe. I just wanted to make, you can text him. I just wanted to make sure I'm solo, not cross country. But maybe he requires it, I'm not sure, because the syllabus is not even there where you're supposed to be creating navlogs. All right, so next week is gonna be navlogs and cross-country flights, and it's gonna look like this kind of. Why VFR navlogs are used, pilotage and reckoning. How to use the E6B, I can only tell you how to use the electrical, not the whiz wheel. How to make a solid and safe navlog. For day 1, we're gonna look at VFR navlog orientation, what makes a good checkpoint, NW craft, and so forth and so on. So nothing crazy, it's gonna be a pretty straightforward week with just navlog pretty much. Week 8 is gonna be night flying and human factors. And then finally, we're gonna be in week 9 and 10, which is gonna be 9 is all review. And 10 is check ride preparation. So you can maybe have some people who just passed their private also come into class and talk to you about what their experience was. That's how I did it last class. So maybe I can find some students who just passed, can share some experience. That's all I have for today, to be honest. So
We can work on the test prep today.
what is that?
The couple steps question.
Where is that? Oh, no, that's supposed to be done solo.
Oh, do it. Do it. Okay.
What's that?
I thought we could do it. This is the funny question, right?
What study question, sorry?
I thought like before you do your solo, you're supposed to.
Oh, the pre-solo acknowledgement? Yeah, that one is supposed to be done by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it. I was thinking about,
It's
it's a the test that we can hold.
It's really not that much. It's supposed to be looked over by your instructor.
Mm.
And your instructor signs off on it because they have to endorse you for the solo flight.
Go really into detail. I took it already, it didn't like detail it enough, so. I didn't retake it.
You retook it?
I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
We went over it, but he's like, I want you to like redo it. Check this out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a joke, really.
Some of the questions. Like don't, it's kind of a wide question, so you kind of just answer it like barely.
Yeah.
My instructor wanted me to like. Put down every possible like right answer, I guess.
Yeah.
Not that there wasn't, like, that there's more than more than one, but like. I've done a lot of key details on this.
Mhm. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a big liability on instructors to sign you off for a solo. Like that's one of the biggest sign-offs. And they want to make sure, not only the instructor wants to make sure that you're capable of, but also the school wants to know and be safe to be signed off to go out there fly the plane by yourself. And that always, sometimes it has nothing even to do with flying, right? It has to do more with knowledge than anything else. If you don't have the knowledge, it's hard to sign you off. You can be flying really good, but if the knowledge is not there, you cannot be signed off. And I still have mine, look at this. So I give you one answer. List the procedure to respond to an in-flight engine failure, okay? So look how small the box is. It's like almost like a 1-line or 2-line box. And I wrote A, B, C, D, E, airspeed, best landing, checklist, declare, ELT. And then I wrote next to it. Pitch for 72, trim the plane, best glide speed, 72. Spot best landing area, go over checklist after doing the steps from memorization. Fuel pumps on, fuel selector on, throttle set to middle, master is on, lane A and B is on, start. If it doesn't start, try it with ECU backup. If it doesn't start, declare an emergency on 121.5, 7700, ELT is on. Set yourself for landing, preferably against the wind. On an upwind lag. Once flaps selected, fuel selector off, fuel pump off, lanes off, and master off if you had the chance to communicate to someone. So this is one.
Yeah.
Like this is
That's
literally.
kind of what I meant by like detail it, like don't just write down the checklist, bro, like
Yeah,
really.
it's not like ABCD checklist. More detail oriented you are, the more comfortable your instructor is going to feel with signing you off.
Actually, I do have one question on 16. List the procedure to respond when H2O begins to overheat. Is there a specific checklist for H2O overheat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You face into the wind, you increase the power. Which I think they mean.
They mean coolant overheat, right?
So if the coolant overheats, you face into the wind, you try to face into the wind and you increase the power. It's gonna happen to you in the summertime, which is probably like 3 months from now, but the coolant will go up, up, up. So you just have to increase the RPM. With that, the coolant will flow through the radiator much faster and it will cool up. And not only that, the air created by the propeller will blow against the radiator and creating a cooling effect.
Yeah, because I thought H2O means I
No,
don't think we
they're
have an
talking-
actual H2O system.
So they're talking about the coolant, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anybody finish this already? You guys have finished this?
Still,
I know
I
Dan-
might find that. I'd like to go over it.
It's on the QR codes everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Next to the, on the back, there was like a little tripod thing. and-
Oh.
Those, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
It was in here too.
do this one right here.
Okay.
Yeah, you can probably get it over there on the Pilot Academy hub. Just scan the QR code, you will probably get it.
It's right here too. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So kind of get this done. I know Dan took the written. Guys, like if you really don't want to fall behind, take this freaking written. It's gonna hold you back. That's my advice. I already gave this advice like a month ago, but if you don't take the written, you will just kind of hover.
I think, for like most tests, at least if you have the option of when to take it, if you just give yourself a day. That way you have to study and take it by that day, it's a lot easier, otherwise you're just gonna keep waiting forever, because you don't think you're ready to make yourself do it. Like,
Yeah, don't take it
That's
if you're
my
not
opinion,
prepared,
at
but
least.
take it. It's time to take it. We're 6 weeks, 7 weeks in now. Yeah, this is the end of 6. So next week's gonna be week 7. That's almost 2 months. And these writtens are not gonna go away. There's like 6 more for you. Better get used to this. Yeah. It's gonna be an instrument, a commercial written, a CFI written, a CFII written. You name it. And the, no, those ones don't have written. Oh, they don't. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're done for today. Good luck with everything. I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Were you in a